Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is Luke Beller with the Sideline Scoop. So today, I thought I'd break down an interesting statistic that I came across today on Acme Packing Company, talking about this one Packers wide receiver who's actually the second most efficient wide receiver in the NFL through these first 2 weeks. And it sounds crazy, but it's not Davante Adams. And scrolling through, I was like, how could it not be Davante Adams? Davante Adams is like, one of the best receivers in the NFL. But this guy here who I'm going to show you has actually been the most efficient when you look at this statistic called DVOA, which basically just measures how efficient and how well a player has basically done with the targets that he's gotten. So it doesn't necessarily mean that the guy with the most yards is the most efficient wide receiver. A guy who has less yards but sort of does more with each ball thrown his way sort of could be a more efficient wide receiver, basically. And so this player is, drumroll, Allen Lazard. Maybe you guessed that. Maybe you didn't. Maybe you thought it was Marquez Valdes-Scantling. But so far, through the first 2 weeks of the NFL season, Allen Lazard has been the second most efficient wide receiver in the NFL, the number one most efficient Packers wide receiver through these first 2 weeks. And Allen Lazard is a guy who I just sort of love this entire offseason. He was just great last year. Aaron Rodgers trusted him a lot last year. He came, from the practice squad in Jacksonville and sort of moved up the ranks so quickly. And now, we've sort of seen him become more and more, sort of a trusted guy for Aaron Rodgers to throw to. And it makes sense. When Allen Lazard gets the ball thrown his way, he makes a play. He does well. So, of course, Aaron Rodgers would continue to target him sort of in higher pressure situations. So if we take a look at some of Lazard's stats for the first 2 weeks, basically, week 1, 4 receptions, 63 yards, 1 touchdown. Week 2, 3 receptions, 45 yards. So just looking at, those stats just like they are, they're okay. They're not amazing, but they're pretty, they're all right stats. But sort of when we take a look at sort of what he's done and in what situations he has made these plays in, that sort of shows sort of just how much Aaron Rodgers does trust him. So 4 of Allen Lazard's 7 receptions through these first 2 weeks all came on 3rd or 4th down, and he converted them. All 4 of those plays, all 4 balls that Aaron Rodgers threw to him on those plays, he converted. So there are 2 3rd and 7s. He caught a 12-yard pass and a 38-yard pass. There was 1 4th and 6. He caught a 10-yard pass. There was 1 3rd and 2, and he caught a 25-yard pass. So as we can see, in high-pressure situations, Allen Lazard comes through, and he just sort of gets it done for Aaron Rodgers. Another stat, he has 15.4 yards per reception, which is 21st this year. And then his catch rate right now is 77.4%. And only Michael Thomas last year had a higher catch rate than that. So far through these first 2 weeks, when Lazard gets the ball, he is an efficiency monster and a guy that Aaron Rodgers obviously can trust. And so I sort of think when we sort of look at Lazard, one reason I was sort of looking at him in fantasy football, because, I sort of do that. Most of you guys probably do as well. But I was thinking he was a late round target just because I sort of saw how efficient he was last year. I think he was somewhere from 15th to 20th when it came to efficiency last season. So I was like, man, if he gets more targets this year, he could be insanely, productive, basically. And so as we can see, he's productive with the balls that do come his way. The question is, how many more targets will he get? Because it seems so far that, Marquez Valdes-Scantling and Davante Adams have gotten more targets than Lazard, but still Lazard comes through on every single ball or most balls that are basically thrown his way. And if we sort of take a look at some of these Packers' other wide receivers, sort of their stats, sort of to see how everyone's matching up right now. I'm on the site Pro Football Reference. It shows the stats. It's a pretty good tool. But as you can see here, I'm sort of ranking this in reception yards. So, of course, Davante, as we all know, one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. Number 1, 17 receptions, 192 yards. Next best, Marquez Valdes-Scantling, 7 receptions, 160 yards. And, of course, we got Lazard with 7 receptions, 108 yards. And as we can see here, Davante Adams has the best catch rate, 85%. Marquez Valdes-Scantling, pretty bad catch rate, 53.8%. So, of course, Marquez Valdes-Scantling can come up with some of those monster deep ball plays that he has come basically through the first few weeks of the season. But, of course, he has had some key drops as well in those situations. And so, that's definitely something that we could, sort of see him improve on. But Lazard, just a beast when it comes to basically just how basically efficient he has been through these first 2 weeks. And so now this week it'll be interesting to see because, of course, I put out that Davante Adams injury update yesterday. Hopefully, it seems like he didn't practice today. I think I saw some news came out basically. But if he doesn't play on Sunday, it'll be interesting to see sort of how the Packers, target these guys. Because I don't know, would Lazard maybe be the number 1, Marquez Valdes-Scantling the number 2? But then, of course, Aaron Jones, honestly, if Davante Adams doesn't play, will probably just go crazy again. He already got, over 200 total yards last week, 200 something, 40, 50, I don't know, something like that, something crazy last week. But honestly, this Packers wide receiver core, dominant, very dominant. And, of course, with Aaron Rodgers, This offense is one of the best in the league, probably the best in the league through these first 2 weeks of the season. But I basically just wanted to break that down today just because I saw this stat and I thought, why not talk about it? Because I thought it was pretty interesting that Davante Adams wasn't the most efficient and that it happened to be Mr. Lazard. So that's basically what I wanted to break down in today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, thank you so much for watching it. Make sure you like it down below. If you want to see some more Packers content, feel free to subscribe to the channel. We got tons of Packers fans subscribed here. So, you want to join this Packers community, make sure you hit that subscribe button. But thank you guys so much for watching. And of course, go Pack Go.